Welcome to the Fight Lab. Here's everything you need to know about Combat Fuel Whey Protein from Fight Lab Fitness. Are you getting enough protein? Should you be supplementing? What kind and how much? So when you're selecting a protein supplement to take, you want to ensure you understand the type of protein that is in the supplement and then whether or not there are any added sugars that might affect the nutritional profile. So with Combat Fuel from Fight Lab, you're going to notice it's a no-calorie sweetener that we use, and it's a mix of whey protein concentrate and whey protein isolate. And what's the difference? Isolate is further refined than concentrate, just meaning it has a higher protein content per calorie than concentrate. By blending the two, you get a nice mix of consistency and flavor profile for mixing, while also still getting a high protein content. So you'll notice on our nutritional label, one single scoop of Combat Fuel Whey Protein is 25 grams of high quality protein for 130 calories, which is a protein to calorie ratio of 19%. If you're doing that ratio, grams of protein over total calories, you'll notice that this is higher than even skinless, boneless chicken breast. So why are we taking whey protein as opposed to any other type of protein out there? Well, there's different ways to measure the efficiency and the effectiveness of a protein. The first one is called the protein efficiency ratio. It's not widely used anymore because it was done on rats, and all it measured was the weight of protein that came in versus the weight gain of the subject afterwards. And we found out that humans don't actually digest protein the same way as rats, so it's not incredibly effective in calling out the quality of a protein. However, whey protein on that scale does score second highest only to eggs and better than the original study. So whey protein does show as a great protein on that scale, but it's not a great scale anymore. The next two that were much better were biological value and net protein utilization, and those actually measure nitrogen. And the reason that's important is because when amino acids come into our body, they utilize nitrogen to actually form proteins in our body. And so when we compare the amount of nitrogen taken in versus the amount of nitrogen excreted or used inside the muscles, we can get a better idea of how effective we're using that protein. So on those two scales, you'll see that whey protein scores highest on biological value of all measured proteins, and second highest, again, only to eggs, for all measured proteins as well. Now, what's widely accepted today is what's called the Protein Digestibility Corrected Amino Acid Score, or the PDCAAs. Great little acronym. And the reason that that's considered most effective now is because it actually takes the ratio of amino acids that's required by babies and toddlers, the amount of each essential amino acid that is optimal for growth, and it uses those to calculate the effectiveness and efficiency of a protein. So now a value of 1 with a PDCAAs is considered perfect. And you'll see there are a few proteins that are considered perfect on this, whey being one of them. Now, of course, when you're looking at the PDCAAs of multiple different protein sources, you can see there are lots of good options. So whey protein is up there with soy protein, casein, and silkworm, if you're into eating silkworm, and it drops down from there. So chicken and beef are both very high as well. Soy is up there. Now, soy has been shown to increase estrogen levels in subjects that consume a lot of it, but there's competing data on that, so the jury's still out on soy, but a lot of vegetarians will eat soy. The next best choice typically is pea protein or chickpea down from there, but pea protein, I would say, is the next biggest choice, especially for vegans on the market for a protein supplement, or for people that are lactose intolerant, of course. Now, beyond just the scoring of a protein and how effective and efficient it is, you want to think about how quickly you can digest and absorb a protein. This is a chart here that shows the digestibility in weight per hour of different types of protein. So you'll notice at the top of the list there, whey protein concentrate and whey protein isolate range from 10 to 20 grams per hour that you can actually digest and absorb. So it is the fastest digesting and absorbing protein in the body. If you're going to consume 100, 200, even 300 grams of protein per day, whey is going to give you the most bang for your buck in terms of how quickly you can absorb it into your body. You'll see that casein, another very high scoring protein, absorbs very slowly. Same with eggs. Eggs cooked and eggs raw are anywhere between 1 gram or 3 grams per hour, and pea protein as your non-dairy vegan option is anywhere between 5 to 7 grams of protein per hour. And then you go down the list from there. So chicken and beef anywhere from 2 to 7 grams per hour. You can see here the picture is becoming very clear that whey protein is the most effective, fastest, most comprehensive way to get your protein for the day. Another thing you're going to want to consider when choosing a protein source is the amino acid profile of the protein itself. And when you're looking at whey versus pea, which are the two most common in the marketplace today, they're both considered complete proteins. So why does it matter? If we're getting enough of it, shouldn't it work just the same? Well, there's a couple things to consider here that I think are finer points but important. Isoleucine is higher in whey, leucine is higher in whey, and valine is higher in whey. Now, why is that important? Well, those are what are called your branched chain amino acids, or your BCAAs, and those have been linked to higher muscle protein synthesis, or meaning more protein goes into building muscles when those specific three are higher in your protein content that you're taking. Also, something to note with pea protein is that methionine is very, very low, about half of what it is in whey protein. And so depending on how it's processed, that specific amino acid there can have pea drop off and not be a complete protein, meaning it is not nearly as effective inside your body for doing what a protein is supposed to do. Lastly, once you understand that whey protein is the most efficient and effective type of protein to be eating to maximize the benefit you're getting out of your workouts, how much should you be taking? Well, the International Society of Sports Nutrition provides an objective and critical review related to the intake of protein for healthy exercising individuals. You can look this up. There's a lot more than 2 points on this list, but the one that I wanted to highlight here is that daily protein intake in the range of 1.4 to 2 grams per kilogram of body weight per day is going to maximize the effect that you get from your protein and your workouts combined. Now, for me, that's anywhere from 96 to 150 grams of protein per day. To eat the equivalent of that in chicken, that would be over a pound of chicken every single day. So it's next to impossible to get enough protein if you want to maximize the benefits of protein synthesis unless you're supplementing with something. And as long as you're not lactose intolerant or vegan, whey protein is the best way to do that. Suffice it to say that getting enough protein in your diet on a daily basis is critical to maximizing the benefits you want from your workouts. Whey protein is the most efficient and effective and cost-effective way to do that, and you're probably not getting enough today. Let's get better together with Fight Lab Fitness. Unleash the warrior within.